TOGAF 10 Exam Prep Practice Question Test 2026. I will give you clear practice questions and simple tips to pass the exam. You can get my complete practice test link in the description, with a discount coupon for full practice. Please leave suggestions in the comment section to help me improve my videos, and subscribe. I will keep language simple and explain each idea in clear short sentences for you. Read slowly and take notes, then practice the questions to build your confidence. Section 1. I outline key concepts so you can answer fast in the real exam. This lesson explains the Admiral cycle and how phases link to real work. I show each phase with plain words and small examples you can follow. The course teach why views matter and which view to use for each audience. You will learn to show simple diagrams that explain complex ideas to people. We cover stakeholders and how to ask the right question to the right person. I describe governance and why agreed rules keep projects on track for delivery. We explain deliverables, so you know what to create and when to share them. My tip: write short notes and keep diagrams clear for easier review and approvals. I teach building blocks and how reuse saves time and reduces repeated errors. You will learn to search the repository first, before making new models or items. The course explains enterprise continuum, so you can classify assets from generic to specific. This lesson outlines architecture principles and how they make choices easier for teams. We also show capability thinking and how to map what the organization can actually do. I explain viewpoints and how to make views that stakeholders understand and approve. Your study plan guide the Admiral phase and give clear examples to practice daily. You should do short practice sessions and review mistakes to learn faster each day. My tip: time your answers and check why each correct answer is the best choice. I show how to run small iterations and get feedback early so risk falls quickly. We teach you to record decisions and keep a simple log for future reference and audits. This lesson describes tools and templates that make common tasks faster and clearer for you. The course explains how to map requirements to architecture elements and check alignment. You will learn how to write short requirements, link them to models, and track them easily. I show simple traceability, so you can answer exam questions with confidence and speed. This lesson describes solution building blocks and how they differ from architecture building blocks. We explain reuse rules and when to adapt a block instead of creating a brand new one. You will practice spotting blocks in examples, then map them into simple diagrams and lists. I show how to prepare artifacts for governance review and what reviewers expect to see. We teach how to write a short executive summary and include only needed evidence and diagrams. My tip: always attach a short list of risks and mitigations for faster approvals and trust. This lesson covers stakeholder management and how to ask concise questions to get clear answers. You will learn to record stakeholder concerns, map them to views, and address each concern clearly. We show an example conversation with a sponsor and how to turn it into simple requirements. The course explains the architecture repository components and how to label assets for reuse. You will learn to add metadata and tags that help others find models and building blocks easily. I show a small example of adding a model, step by step, to the repository for reuse. This lesson teaches the Admiral iterations and why small changes reduce risk before final delivery. We explain how to run a quick review, update a model, and check improved alignment with goals. You will be asked to revise one diagram and then explain the change to a reviewer during practice. I describe simple metrics to measure architecture work and how to keep them concise and useful. We teach a few example metrics, like reuse rate, number of reviewed deliverables, and review time. My tip: track 1 or 2 metrics, keep them visible, and act on what the numbers tell you. This lesson covers common exam traps and how to read questions carefully for best answers. You will learn to spot words that change meaning and how to remove extra noise from questions. We practice sample questions, check answers, and note why the correct answer is the right choice. I explain how to manage scope and avoid adding unneeded details that slow the team down. We show how to split big problems into small parts and solve each part with focused models. You will practice splitting a case and then outline a plan for just one part, clearly and simply. This lesson shows how to use architecture principles to reject poor options quickly and politely. You will learn to state the principle, then explain why the option does not meet it, briefly. My tip: practice short phrasing, principle, reason, decision, so reviewers understand your choice quickly. I teach documentation habits that save time, like templates, short titles, and consistent names for models. We explain naming rules and why consistent names make search and reuse easier for everyone later. You will be asked to rename a model in practice, then find it by new name to verify reuse. This lesson explains how to prepare for interview-style questions about architecture with short answers. We cover a template, context, short action, result, and what you learned, in simple terms. You will practice 3 short answers and record them to check clarity and timing for exam speaking tasks. I show how to combine a few simple diagrams to tell a clear architecture story to the sponsor. We teach story order, goal, current state, gaps, proposed changes, and short benefits summary for leaders. You will practice writing a 2-line benefits note to attach to diagrams for quick sponsor reading. This lesson describes risk assessment and how to flag top 3 risks with short mitigation notes. We explain risk format, short title, impact sentence, mitigation action, owner, and review date. My tip: focus on high-impact risks first and keep mitigation realistic and small to implement quickly. I show a simple checklist for review meetings and what to bring to a governance board meeting. We explain checklist items, summary slide, key diagrams, open decisions, and a list of next steps. You will practice creating a short slide and then speak about the top 2 decisions to the reviewer. Questions and answers. Section 1. 1. What is the purpose of the Admiral cycle in enterprise architecture work? The Admiral guides all phases and manages change through structured, repeatable work. It shows how to move from idea to design in clear, repeatable steps. 2. How do architecture views help different stakeholders understand the system and make decisions faster? Views highlight specific concerns, so each stakeholder sees useful, focused information for action. It helps you choose the right details to show for each audience. 3. Why should we reuse building blocks when designing solutions and systems to speed delivery and ensure consistency? Reusing blocks speeds design and keeps solutions consistent across teams and projects. Try to identify common parts, reuse them, and reduce work and errors. 4. How does the architecture repository support projects and future reuse, and reduce duplicated work across teams? The repository stores models and standards, helping teams find reusable assets quickly. Keep the repository updated and tagged, so others can find and reuse assets easily and fast. 5. What role do architecture principles play when making design choices, and who checks these decisions regularly? Principles give simple rules and guide choices to match the organization's strategy. Write short, clear principles, and check each choice against them during design. 6. How do deliverables help stakeholders approve and track architecture progress, and what should they always include? Deliverables show completed work and provide evidence for review and formal acceptance. Include diagrams and notes, and share them for timely feedback and approval. 7. Why is stakeholder engagement important during each ADM phase of a project? Engagement brings feedback early and aligns expectations across sponsors, users, and teams. Talk often with stakeholders, ask questions, and record their needs and limits. 8. What is the enterprise continuum and how does it help classify artifacts? The continuum orders assets from generic to specific, helping teams find fitting patterns. Use the continuum to pick ready solutions and to avoid redoing existing work. 9. How do architecture viewpoints differ from views, and why do both matter for clear communication and approval? Viewpoints define perspectives, while views present actual models for each stakeholder group. Pick a viewpoint for each stakeholder, then make a matching view to explain. 10. What is the role of governance in keeping architecture standards and compliance? Governance enforces checkpoints and agreed rules, so projects stay aligned with standards and plans. Set review points, track decisions, and ensure changes follow the agreed process. 11. How does iteration in Admiral improve architecture through refinement and feedback, and when should we repeat phases? Iteration repeats small cycles, refines outputs, and lowers risk before final delivery. Test small ideas early, adjust quickly, and do not wait until the end. 12. Why should you practice with sample questions to prepare confidently for exams? Practice builds speed and memory, and shows topics that need more focused study. Do timed practice, review mistakes, and focus study on weak topic areas. Section 2. The course show architecture views, to save your time and give clear examples to practice. This lesson cover governance tasks, and how to prepare short evidence for review boards and sponsors. We explain how to pick the right diagrams for a meeting, and which details to hide. My tip help building blocks, and practice daily and give simple examples to remember faster. This lesson show key concepts for the exam, and give simple examples to practice daily. We teach how to convert requirements into architecture elements and simple traceable models. I explain stakeholder mapping, and how to assign concerns to the right views for better clarity. You will learn to create a simple matrix, map roles to concerns, and check for overlaps quickly. We show how to keep stakeholder lists short, up to the people who can block or approve work. This lesson described data architecture basics, and how to represent simple data flows with short diagrams. We teach to label flows with purpose, source, and destination to show clear data movement steps. You will practice drawing one flow, then explain its business value in 2 short sentences. The course covers security basics inside architecture and how to name key controls for each flow. We show examples of access control, encryption, and simple logging that match short architecture statements. My tip: avoid long lists, focus on controls that actually reduce the highest risks first. This lesson introduced the concept of capability maps and how to show business ability with few boxes. You will learn to group similar functions, name the capability, and add one measurable outcome for clarity. We practice mapping 3 capabilities and then relate them to a simple target architecture diagram. I explain technology baseline and target baseline and how to document them in 2 sentences each. We teach where to store version notes and how to show a short migration path for reviewers. You will prepare a baseline slide, add 1 migration step, and note 1 risk for the change. This lesson covers architecture patterns and how to use them to speed design and reduce repeated testing. We show a few common patterns, how to recognize them in examples, and when to adapt them slightly. You will pick 1 pattern, map it to a use case, and explain why it fits the need. The course describes testing basics for architecture and which tests prove architecture choices reasonably well. We explain integration checks, performance assumptions, and a few simple acceptance items for governance review. You will list 2 tests, state the expected result, and note who will verify them before acceptance. This lesson explains the role of the architecture board and what they expect from a short submission. We teach to include a concise summary, key decisions, and any open trade-offs for the board to decide. My tip: practice writing the summary in 1 paragraph that an executive can read in 30 seconds. I show release and change management basics and how architecture must support controlled rollout of new features. We explain canary releases, phased rollouts, and short rollback plans to lower the risk of wide problems. You will draft a 2-step rollout plan and a single rollback bullet that is clear and testable. This lesson teaches common exam-style questions and how to answer them in short, clear sentences for marking. We practice phrasing, context, action, result, and 1 learning point in a concise 3-sentence format. You will record answers and practice pacing to fit typical exam time limits and expectations. This lesson describes how to link business goals to architecture choices with a simple 1-page map. We show how to write goal statements, link them to capabilities, and then to specific design changes. You will create a short map for 1 business goal and explain the top 2 impacts for the architecture. The course explains the value of short, frequent reviews and how they find problems early in the design. You will schedule brief status checks, bring 2 diagrams, and ask 1 clear decision question each time. We teach how to record action owners, then review progress in the next check to keep momentum. This lesson covers simple cost and benefit notes, and how to attach a 1-line benefit for each change. We explain how to estimate rough cost bands, and add 1 short note about likely benefit to justify choices. You will prepare 1 cost band, and a short benefit note to support a proposed change. This lesson teaches how to make architecture notes easy to read, using bold titles and short bullets for clarity. We show a clean layout, title, context, diagram, impact, decision, and next steps in a single-page format. You will format 1 page, and then swap it with a partner for quick review and feedback practice. This lesson explains how to use simple checklists for handover and what to include for operations and support teams. We cover items like contact list, runbook pointers, and a short known issues list for smooth transition. My tip: keep handover notes to one page and link to detailed docs for those who need more depth. This lesson shows how to keep learning after the exam, with daily micro-tasks that build long-term skills. We suggest short reading, quick diagram practice, and one timed question each day to keep pace and memory. You will follow a small weekly plan and track improvement to feel prepared and calm on exam day. Questions and answers, Section 2. 1. What is the purpose of the Admiral cycle in enterprise architecture work? The Admiral guides all phases and manages change through structured, repeatable work. It shows how to move from idea to design in clear, repeatable steps. 2. How do architecture views help different stakeholders understand the system and make decisions faster? Views highlight specific concerns, so each stakeholder sees useful, focused information for action. It helps you choose the right details to show for each audience. 3. Why should we reuse building blocks when designing solutions and systems to speed delivery and ensure consistency? Reusing blocks speeds design and keeps solutions consistent across teams and projects. Try to identify common parts, reuse them, and reduce work and errors. 4. How does the architecture repository support projects and future reuse, and reduce duplicated work across teams? The repository stores models and standards, helping teams find reusable assets quickly. Keep the repository updated and tagged, so others can find and reuse assets easily and fast. 5. What role do architecture principles play when making design choices, and who checks these decisions regularly? Principles give simple rules and guide choices to match the organization strategy. Write short, clear principles and check each choice against them during design. 6. How do deliverables help stakeholders approve and track architecture progress, and what should they always include? Deliverables show completed work and provide evidence for review and formal acceptance. Include diagrams and notes, and share them for timely feedback and approval. 7. Why is stakeholder engagement important during each ADM phase of a project? Engagement brings feedback early and aligns expectations across sponsors, users, and teams. Talk often with stakeholders, ask questions, and record their needs and limits. 8. What is the enterprise continuum and how does it help classify artifacts? The continuum orders assets from generic to specific, helping teams find fitting patterns. Use the continuum to pick ready solutions and to avoid redoing existing work. 9. How do architecture viewpoints differ from views, and why do both matter for clear communication and approval? Viewpoints define perspectives, while views present actual models for each stakeholder group. Pick a viewpoint for each stakeholder, then make a matching view to explain. 10. What is the role of governance in keeping architecture standards and compliance? Governance enforces checkpoints and agreed rules, so projects stay aligned with standards and plans. Set review points, track decisions, and ensure changes follow the agreed process. 11. How does iteration in Admiral improve architecture through refinement and feedback, and when should we repeat phases? Iteration repeats small cycles, refines outputs, and lowers risk before final delivery. Test small ideas early, adjust quickly, and do not wait until the end. 12. Why should you practice with sample questions to prepare confidently for exams? Practice builds speed and memory, and shows topics that need more focused study. Do timed practice, review mistakes, and focus study on weak topic areas. Get the full course in the description for the complete practice test and full explanations. Section 3. In this section, I explain business architecture in very clear and simple words. We focus on what the business does and why it does those activities. You will see how goals connect to processes and processes connect to systems. Business architecture starts with vision and clear business drivers from leaders. I tell you, always ask why this change is needed right now. Write the reason in one short sentence and keep it visible. We map business goals to measurable outcomes so success is easy to track. You should define one metric for each goal and review it monthly. If a goal has no metric, it becomes hard to manage. I show you how to create a simple capability map with grouped abilities. Each capability should describe what the business can do, not how it does it. Keep names short, and avoid mixing technology terms in capability names. Processes explain how work flows, from start to finish, step by step. You should draw main steps only, and avoid too much detail early. Later, you can refine the process with more detail if needed. Stakeholders care about outcomes, cost, and risk for business change. So we align business architecture with financial and risk views. This helps leaders approve changes faster, with confidence. I explain value streams and how they show value from trigger to result. Start with a customer request and end with delivered value. Keep the stream simple and highlight key improvement points. When analyzing gaps, compare current state with target state clearly. List what exists now and what must change in the future. Mark missing capabilities and processes that need redesign. I teach you to prioritize gaps based on impact and effort. High impact and low effort items should move first. Write priority next to each gap to guide roadmap planning. Roadmaps show sequence of changes over time in small releases. Avoid planning everything at once, break change into phases. Each phase should deliver visible business benefit. I show how to link business architecture to information architecture clearly. For each process, identify main data objects used. This creates traceability between business and data design. Business principles guide decisions during conflict or uncertainty. For example, customer first, or standardize before customizing solutions. Always test your design against these principles. Communication is key during business architecture work. Use short slides, clear diagrams, and plain language. If someone looks confused, pause and explain again. I suggest daily review of one concept and quick recap practice. Teach someone else what you learned to strengthen memory. Train, test, we need to fix, repeat. Questions and answers. Section 3. 1. What is the main focus of business architecture in enterprise work? It focuses on business goals, capabilities, and processes needed to deliver value. It defines what the business does, before deciding how technology supports it. 2. Why should each business goal have a measurable outcome? A measurable outcome allows tracking progress and checking real success. Without a metric, leaders cannot see if the goal is achieved. 3. What is a capability in business architecture? A capability describes what the business is able to do. It should be stable over time, and not depend on specific systems. 4. Why should capability names avoid technical terms? Technical terms mix design with business thinking and cause confusion. Capabilities describe ability, not tools or software used. 5. What does a value stream show in business design? It shows how value flows from trigger to delivered outcome. It highlights where improvements increase customer satisfaction. 6. How do you identify gaps between baseline and target? Compare current capabilities with required future capabilities. Missing or weak areas become clear gaps to address. 7. Why is prioritization important in gap analysis? Prioritization ensures high-impact changes happen first. Limited resources require focus on the most beneficial items. 8. What is the purpose of a roadmap in business architecture? A roadmap sequences changes over time in planned phases. It helps manage risk and show progress step by step. 9. How does business architecture link to information architecture? Processes use data objects, creating traceability between business and data. This link ensures systems support real business activities. 10. Why are business principles useful during architecture decisions? Principles guide consistent decisions when choices are unclear. They act as rules to check alignment with strategy. 11. What is the benefit of simple process diagrams early in design? Simple diagrams provide clarity without overwhelming stakeholders. Detail can be added later after agreement on structure. 12. Why should architects communicate in plain language? Plain language improves understanding and speeds approvals. Clear communication reduces misunderstandings and rework. Section 4. Now we move to information systems architecture, with focus on data and applications. This section helps you understand how information supports business operations. We break it into data architecture and application architecture. Data architecture defines key data entities used across processes. Start by listing main business objects, like customer, order, or product. Describe each entity in one short sentence. I explain data relationships and how entities connect logically. Draw simple lines between entities and label relationships clearly. Avoid too many attributes at the start. Data quality is a big topic in architecture exams. You should define ownership, validation rules, and update frequency. Poor quality data leads to wrong business decisions. We also define data lifecycle, from creation to archive. Document where data is stored, processed, and finally deleted. This improves compliance and reduces storage cost. Application architecture shows which systems support each capability. Map applications to business processes clearly and logically. If two systems do the same job, mark duplication risk. I teach integration basics between applications in simple terms. Identify data exchange points and describe method briefly. For example, file transfer, API call, or message queue. When designing target application landscape, aim for simplicity. Remove redundant systems and align with business priorities. Each application should have a clear purpose. I show you how to create an application portfolio catalog. List system name, owner, purpose, and lifecycle status. This helps decision-making during modernization. Security must be addressed at application and data levels. Define access rights and role-based permissions clearly. Log critical actions and review logs regularly. When analyzing gaps in systems, check functionality and integration gaps. Document missing features and poor performance areas. Then propose solutions aligned with business goals. We connect application changes to technology platform needs. If new system needs cloud hosting, record that requirement. Trace each technology need back to business justification. I advise regular model review with technical and business teams together. Cross-review improves alignment and reduces hidden risks. Ask each team what risk they see. Study one diagram daily and explain it aloud. This builds confidence and clear thinking. Train, test, we need to fix, repeat. Questions and answers. Section 4. 1. What is the purpose of data architecture in enterprise design? It defines key data entities and their relationships across the organization. Clear data structure supports accurate reporting and operations. 2. Why should you start with main business data entities first? Main entities represent core business objects and processes. Starting simple avoids confusion and supports gradual refinement. 3. What is data lifecycle management? It describes how data is created, stored, used, and deleted. Lifecycle control ensures compliance and cost efficiency. 4. Why is data ownership important in architecture? Ownership ensures accountability for data quality and updates. Clear responsibility improves trust and reliability. 5. What does application architecture describe? It shows systems that support business capabilities and processes. It maps applications to business needs clearly. 6. Why should duplicate applications be identified? Duplicate systems increase cost and complexity. Removing overlap simplifies support and reduces risk. 7. What is an integration point between applications? It is a place where systems exchange data. Clear integration design prevents data inconsistency. 8. Why create an application portfolio catalog? It provides overview of systems, ownership, and lifecycle status. This supports planning and modernization decisions. 9. How does security relate to data and application architecture? Security controls protect data and restrict system access. Protection prevents misuse and supports compliance. 10. What is a gap in application architecture? A gap is missing functionality or weak integration. Identifying gaps helps plan improvements logically. 11. Why link technology needs to business justification? Business justification explains why technology investment is required. It ensures alignment and supports funding approval. 12. Why should business and technical teams review models together? Joint review improves alignment and reveals hidden risks. Collaboration reduces misunderstandings and design flaws. Get the full course in the description for the complete practice test and full explanations. Leave your suggestions in the comment section. 5. Now we move to technology architecture, in very simple and clear words. This part explains platforms, networks, infrastructure, and technical standards. I will connect technology choices with business and application needs clearly. Technology architecture supports applications, data, and business processes. It includes servers, cloud services, networks, storage, and security tools. Always ask, which technology supports which application or capability? Start with baseline technology and document current platforms clearly. List operating systems, databases, hosting models, and network types. Keep descriptions short and avoid too many low-level details. Then define target technology state based on business roadmap. If the business wants faster scaling, consider cloud infrastructure. If data sensitivity increases, enhance security controls and monitoring. I explain environment types, like development, test, and production clearly. Each environment should have defined purpose and access rules. Never mix production data inside development without protection. Technology standards reduce confusion across many teams. Define approved tools, versions, and configuration rules. This keeps support easier and lowers compatibility issues. I show you platform decomposition into compute, storage, and network layers. Describe each layer in 1 or 2 sentences only. Link each layer to supported applications for traceability. Capacity planning is often tested in exams. Estimate load, user count, and transaction volume roughly. Then match infrastructure size to expected growth. Performance requirements should be written clearly and measurable. For example, response time under 2 seconds. Attach these requirements to systems and infrastructure components. Resilience is another key area in technology architecture. Plan backup, failover, and recovery processes carefully. Define recovery time objective and recovery point objective clearly. I explain simple disaster recovery concepts for exam clarity. Primary site handles normal load, secondary site handles failure. Test failover process regularly to ensure readiness. Network design should support security and segmentation. Separate internal systems from external facing services. Use firewalls and monitoring between network zones. Cloud adoption questions appear frequently in exams. Understand public, private, and hybrid cloud basics clearly. Know benefits like scalability and risks like vendor dependency. When analyzing technology gaps, compare baseline and target platforms. Mark outdated systems and unsupported versions. Propose phased replacement aligned with business priority. Technology architecture must align with security policies. Define authentication methods and encryption standards clearly. Log and monitor critical infrastructure activities. Document technology principles, like standardization and automation first. These principles guide platform selection decisions. Test each technology choice against agreed principles. During governance review, present a simple technology stack diagram. Show layers clearly, and highlight major changes only. Avoid showing unnecessary internal technical settings. Study by drawing small stack diagrams daily. Explain each layer aloud in simple language. Train, Test, we need to fix, repeat. Questions and answers. Section 5. 1. What is the main purpose of technology architecture? It defines infrastructure platforms that support applications and business processes. It ensures systems run reliably and align with organizational needs. 2. Why should baseline technology be documented clearly? Baseline documentation shows current platforms and identifies improvement areas. It forms the reference point for gap analysis. 3. What is a target technology architecture? It describes the desired future infrastructure state. It supports business strategy and planned application changes. 4. Why are environment types like development and production separated? Separation protects live data and ensures system stability. Controlled environments reduce risk of accidental impact. 5. What is the benefit of defining technology standards? Standards reduce complexity and improve compatibility across teams. They simplify support and lower maintenance costs. 6. What is capacity planning in infrastructure design? Capacity planning estimates required resources based on expected demand. It prevents system overload and supports growth. 7. What does resilience mean in technology architecture? Resilience ensures systems continue operating during failures. Backup and failover mechanisms reduce downtime. 8. What is disaster recovery planning? It prepares systems to recover after major failure. Clear recovery objectives guide restoration speed and data protection. 9. Why is network segmentation important? Segmentation limits security risks and isolates sensitive systems. It reduces impact if one zone is compromised. 10. What is a hybrid cloud model? Hybrid cloud combines public and private cloud environments. It balances flexibility with control and security. 11. How do you identify technology gaps? Compare current platforms with target requirements. Unsupported or outdated systems indicate gaps. 12. Why must technology align with security policies? Alignment ensures consistent protection across infrastructure. It reduces vulnerabilities and supports compliance. Section 6. Now we focus on implementation governance and architecture change management. This part ensures designs are followed during project execution. It also controls future changes in a structured way. Implementation governance checks project compliance with architecture. During execution, teams must follow approved designs. Architecture board reviews major deviations. I explain compliance assessments in simple terms. Check if solution matches principles and standards. Document findings and required corrective actions. Architecture contracts define expectations between architects and project teams. They describe scope, constraints, and deliverables clearly. Contracts reduce misunderstandings during implementation. If a project needs deviation, raise a formal change request. Explain reason, impact, and proposed mitigation. Board reviews and approves or rejects change. Change management handles ongoing evolution after implementation. Business environment changes, and architecture must adapt. Use structured process to manage updates. I show simple change lifecycle steps for exam clarity. Submit request, assess impact, approve change, implement update. Record decision in repository for traceability. Post-implementation review is very useful. Check if expected benefits were achieved. Document lessons learned for future projects. I explain architecture maturity improvement basics. Assess current capability, define improvement actions. Review progress regularly with leadership. KPIs help measure architecture performance. Examples include compliance rate and reuse percentage. Track trends over time, not single values. Communication remains important during governance phases. Share updates clearly with project managers and sponsors. Avoid technical language when speaking to executives. Risk management continues after solution delivery. Monitor operational risks and emerging threats. Update architecture models when significant risk appears. I advise reviewing repository periodically. Remove outdated artifacts and archive old versions. Keep repository clean and searchable. For exam preparation, review governance scenarios carefully. Many questions describe project deviation cases. Focus on process order and board involvement. Practice scenario-based answers daily. Read scenario, identify phase, choose best action. Train, test, we need to fix, repeat. Stay consistent in your study plan. Short sessions daily are better than long rare sessions. Confidence grows with repeated structured practice. Questions and answers. Section 6. 1. What is implementation governance in enterprise architecture? It ensures projects follow approved architecture designs and standards. Governance checks compliance during solution delivery. 2. What is an architecture contract? It defines responsibilities and expectations between architects and project teams. Contracts reduce misunderstandings and scope conflicts. 3. What happens if a project needs design deviation? A formal change request must be submitted for review. The architecture board evaluates impact and risk. 4. What is architecture change management? It manages updates to architecture after implementation. It ensures controlled adaptation to new business needs. 5. What are the basic steps in a change lifecycle? Submit request, assess impact, approve, implement, record. Structured steps maintain control and traceability. 6. Why conduct a post-implementation review? It checks whether expected benefits were achieved. Lessons learned improve future architecture work. 7. What is an architecture compliance assessment? It evaluates whether a solution follows architecture standards. Findings guide corrective actions if needed. 8. Why are KPIs useful in architecture governance? KPIs measure effectiveness and guide improvement. Trends show long-term performance clearly. 9. Why must architecture adapt after implementation? Business and technology environments continue changing. Adaptation keeps architecture relevant and aligned. 10. What is the role of the architecture board? The board reviews compliance and approves major changes. It provides oversight and strategic direction. 11. Why maintain and clean the architecture repository regularly? Clean repository improves reuse and accuracy. Outdated artifacts can mislead future projects. 12. How should you approach scenario-based exam questions? Identify the phase first, Then select Structured Process Action. Understanding lifecycle order helps choose correct answer. Get the full course in the description, with the complete practice test and full explanations. Leave your suggestions in the comment section, and do not forget to subscribe.